Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Design in DeFi. Today we're going to talk about governance, and governance is a pretty interesting topic, I would say. From a design perspective, it's very interesting because basically what it is token holders' abilities to vote on different proposals that are set out by these companies. So imagine yourself as someone who's holding tokens. It's kind of the same as someone who owns shares in a company. You are able to vote on any proposals that the blockchain that you've kind of holding the tokens that you actually hold tokens of representative to that blockchain. You can actually vote on any proposals they put out there, the team puts out there. So for example, in this Yam Finance, you would have that, they're asking if they should rebrand their products. And basically what they're asking is people to put in a yes or a no for that proposal, right? And why it's interesting is because from a design perspective, we haven't been actually voting on interfaces for all our lives. This is a new thing. This is something new that people started doing just a few years ago. And I really like that with anything that's new, obviously there's a lot of design opportunities to come. And that's the thing that gets me excited about governance in general. So Yam Finance is actually, no, Snapshot is actually a platform where any token holders of any of these protocols can actually come here and vote on any proposals that have been listed on the blockchain. So the cool thing about the blockchain, obviously, is that you can create different interfaces because it's just a shared database, right? So you can create different interfaces and users can interact with those interfaces, but it shows everywhere. So if we look at Snapshot, let's say I want to be, I'm a uni holder and I want to be voting on uni. I can either do it on Snapshot or I can go on Tally, and it's basically the same thing. It's my vote will show up on both of their platforms. So that's actually one of the cool things about blockchain, and it allows you to do that. So there's different platforms that came along. Snapshot is one of them, and Snapshot, what it does, it allows you to create to vote here and also create proposals in case you own enough tokens in order to create a proposal. So if we go to Yam Finance here, we'll see they have different stuff like active proposals here. You have closed proposals. You can play around here, see pending active proposals that have been closed. You can also go on and create a new proposal. And here it tells you need to have a minimum of 100 in order to submit a proposal. Obviously, I don't have because I have my wallet connected. I don't have 100 to submit a proposal. It won't let me do that. You can add a question here and what is the proposal about. You have a few choices that people can actually add. So yes, no, or maybe you can add more choices, 3, 4, 5. Start date, end date, and then you publish a proposal. Once you publish a proposal, people that actually hold these tokens can come and vote on your proposal. From a design perspective, you have everything here right now, things that are in the governance. One of the things I would do differently than what they have here, and I've explored in a previous design I've worked with, is the fact that I don't believe in so as a designer, I want users to be focusing on just one thing when they're doing stuff. I don't want users to be focusing on, 10 different things. And this is an example of giving the users too many options, because you're giving them, I know it's easy to do everything in one thing, like just having everything in one screen, but I would add a few things behind. Like if you give users one action, you make sure that they focus on that one action and not like a lot of things. Here we have, I mean, these would go hand in hand. You would want to have probably this in the same at the same time. Probably selecting a date. Yeah, probably I would also have these on the same interface. I would not hide them behind a different button. I would say this is a good option to do a good governance, a good proposal creation for governance. I'm curious what this is. Plugins forum. It's interesting. I didn't know this. Maybe I'll check this out. Yeah, I don't know what it is. So yeah, so you're able to create a new proposal, and let's go to an existing proposal. Should we go to should Yam rebrand product? So this is what I told you about, and this is quite interesting for me, is that every proposal that is out there, like every team effort, like should we rebrand different products, or should we do any action that a team should do, they can actually add it as a proposal here. So actually this, oh yeah, now it works. So again, is the question, I think this is just the ID of the platform, and then you have a link here, and the link actually takes you to the forum. So if we go to the forum here, you would see that people actually discuss this in forums before they actually create a proposal on the on-chain, because the reason is you don't want to overwhelm the community with too many proposals until they haven't been discussed. And to be honest, gas is quite expensive right now, and you don't want to be going creating proposals that would probably not be voted by the community. So communities go in forums, they publish their proposal here, and then when it gets voted inside the forum and discussed obviously in comments, then someone goes on Yam Finance or other platforms, and what they do is they actually create the proposal there, and then it gets voted by the community. And this is a way for making it more efficient, just saving gas and making sure that only important proposals and proposals which have been discussed previously are submitted. Here you have the option to cast your vote, yes, no vote, and then you have different votes that people have casted here. I assume this is the person who has actually created the proposal. And then if you click see more, you would just go through all the addresses. On the right side, you have just a few information about this proposal: start date, end date, block number, I think. Here you have the results and yes and no, and then this is the quorum. What I don't like about this is that I think, oh yeah, so the quorum is actually needs to reach 200k YAM. Okay, so it tells you that you're 89% to actually reaching the quorum. So the quorum means that from the total votes, you actually need at least 200,000 in order for this proposal to pass. If it does not reach 200,000, if it gets like 190,000, even if the results are yes, and it's an overwhelming percentage yes, it would still not pass. So if by May 12 it doesn't reach 200,000, this proposal would not pass. So that's what actually is described here. Here, like as I said, like here, I don't want to cast my vote directly on this interface. I would prefer to have a call to action, click on it, and then cast my vote inside that call to action. It's just too much. Like if I'm focused on something, I want to be probably focused on that. I don't want to be focused on everything that's going on here and all the addresses and clicking here and then getting the model, right? So in the model, you would say yes, yeah, and the action can be undone. It tells you your voting power. I now have 0, obviously. And yeah, so I'm gonna show you actually, because I've also designed a governance platform. The way I've done it, so you've seen Snapshot. So the way I've done it is that you actually have the for and against and the quorum here. The way I've approached the quorum is that I've added like a small indicator here, just telling you when the quorum has been passed. And then it also tells you percentage of actually total of the total voting power of all the tokens. So right now, 19% of all the people who actually hold a token have or could actually vote have voted, and the 4% quorum needed has passed. This was the indicator of that. And this proposal, if it will get executed, it will go for a for or against, but it will be either for or against because the quorum has reached. And then you have representative for or against, the percentages, the number of votes here. And then if you click vote for this proposal, you would, so if you see, like I'm not showing the options here, I'm actually telling you, this is information that you can actually read. If you decide to vote, you click on this call to action. You don't like click yes, no from the interface. So you click on the call to action, pops up the voting model, and it shows you the current outcome right now. The same information you have here, current outcome. If you click for, then it just shows you how the outcome would look after you have casted your vote. So obviously you could have 5,000 votes, which amount to, I don't know, like 6% of a 6% increase for in case you would have voted for. So it tells you how it will look after you've confirmed your vote. Obviously, other people can actually vote before you because it takes a while until the transaction loads. So this might not actually be the correct representation. Like if someone would vote like 100,000 before you and against, but at least it just gives you a good idea of how it would look in this particular moment. And then you confirm the vote. Obviously, casting your vote takes you to signing the transaction. You sign the transaction, and then it takes you here, and then everything changes based on that. So that's how I would do it from a design perspective. If it would be for me, I would not have to cast your vote here. I would just do it through clicking on the interface. Yeah. Other things I think, like, Snapshot does a very good job of showing all the information and putting things into perspective for voters and also for proposal creators. Yeah, I've also had I've done like a proposal history. Well, it just takes you a bit throughout the proposal. Yeah, just throughout the history of it, when it succeeded, when it's been queued, or if it has or not been executed by the team. But yeah, other things, other improvements that are different than what Snapshot has done, yeah, I haven't actually seen. But like governance is so new, and I think like in the future things will it will improve so much. There would be a lot of different players out there doing a lot of interesting things, and it's very new. And as a designer, if you're interested in getting into DeFi, I would just go for, you know, redesigning some governance platforms, or going a bit more deep into this, because it's a really cool environment. If we look at Tally, like the way they're doing it, and I like this, is like they're actually showing the voters, so how big their voting power is. So if we see Dharma here with their address has voted, and it kind of shows you a representation of that here, as opposed to Yam, which as opposed to Snapshot, if you go here, you only see the addresses, and obviously you also see the voting power right here, right? But this one gives you a bit more perspective on that. So yeah, and also the participation rate. So the participation rate is what I was referring to when I was saying here, which was 19%. I think that's what they mean by that. It's the participation rate of that. So yeah, so they're exploring things from an interesting and different perspective with this representation. But and also here, like you can see, they have a voting timeline, and it kind of shows you the addresses, and yeah, you can go and check them out and see how they've done things here. But as I've said, you know, like governance is new, and people are experimenting with it in different ways. So why not give it a try? Why not see if you can actually design a better governance platform than the ones that are there? Curious on seeing how this will evolve in the future. I think it will be a really interesting space. And yeah, I hope this episode has been useful for you, and I'll see you in the next one.